Wake up, it's that time again. The sun's not here, but we're on again. Grab your coffee, grab your crystals and gather round. It's not lunch, it's not breakfast, it's the time we found. For brunch, well maybe we're busy. For brunch, maybe we're lazy. For brunch, well maybe it's Conquest. For brunch, or a request. But brunch is the time that we make for each of us, where we ask Egnards dumb stuff, because brunch will always be the special time for Egnards and for me.
Well, good morning, everybody. And fuck you, Xander. Like, I'm sitting here making my coffee, and you're telling me that I put in the wrong date. And for a second, I went back, I checked, I looked, I was like, wait a second, did I mess something up? And of course, it's just because you're European and being a dick, and you know damn well that I am in New Jersey, and that I said or put the date in correctly. And you just had to fuck me anyway. And also, starting out the stream hot with fucking push-ups. So, fuck you. Just fuck you, man. We'll do those right away, and then we'll talk, and then we'll get into it. But we got to set up the camera so it'll actually pick up the push-ups. Oh, God damn you. Let's see. We gotta do this thing, right? God, I hate you. Let's see. We need to zoom out. Wherever that setting is. Zoom. All right, let's see. Let's go a little bit lower. If it makes you happy, Xander, piece of shit. If it makes you happy, I actually fucked up my shoulder last week. So I shouldn't be doing push-ups at all. So that was not fun. We did a 25 for now. I'm going to start doing them more frequently, more often. So we can get that number up. We're going to get that number up to 50. We'll get it up to 75. We'll pop it back up to 100 where I used to be. Back before COVID. Back before I was fat and old and everything else that I don't want to be. 40 work. I fucking popped my shoulder last week, so give me some fucking credit. There's nothing going on in game. It is TW Hero Day. I actually want to talk about this because I feel like the guild that we are facing got fucked. Like hardcore fucked. We're going to go over here to our gameplay. Drop the amount more and you'll get more redeems. So my guild is 709 million GP. Our average, let's see what it is. Our average for Sleeping Gungalorians is, Google is loading right now. It's being slow. Like they got so fucked. Holy shit. Where is it? Nope, that's the wrong thing. So this is our average. 700, it's technically 709, 895,000. So 710 million. Our average is 14.2 million. Our opponent is these guys. They're 579 million. Now here's the thing. You can say, Eggman, I don't know, like you guys sandbag, which we don't actively sandbag. We just don't like playing TW. We do actively ask people to join. We had 39 people join. This guild had 44 people join out of 47 members. I reached out to their guild leader, and I said, hey man, you guys got fucked. Like, what's the deal? How many people joined? They got 44 people. 579 million GP compared to our 710 million GP. And you could say, Egg, you know what? They're on a really hot streak. And you guys are on a really low streak. But that's not even what fucking happened. You look at their TW record. Their TW record is shit. 30% in the last 3 months. They're off of 1 win from 3 losses. They win once every 4 matches. My guild is also coming off of a win. And we have a 61% win rate. There is no fucking reason why our 2 guilds should be matched together. And fuck, like CG, if you want people to play this game mode, like goddamn. Now, his guild leader, the guild leader for this guild was very nice. They reached out, they're like, hey, do you want to put anything fun on defense? You want to see anything? Like, we're just gonna have fun with it. And I told them we hate TW, and half of us are not even gonna look at it because it's a cupcake war. But I appreciated it. But like this is the kind of shit. I know that major guilds, like some of them sandbag on purpose. And it's really hard to deal with that. I understand that. But that's not what happened here. We had 5 less people than them join. 5, just 5. Some fucked up shit. This video, this live stream is going to be demonetized for the amount of times I've said that this is fucked up shit in the last 4 minutes. Like, holy fucking tip balls. I don't know what to say. Who did? Afra, Con Warlock, you did Afra. The only tier in the Afra journey guide that is difficult really is the Hondo tier, because it heavily relies on RNG. Unless you're Hondo, like if you have a Relic 9 Hondo because you have Hondo GL, it'll be easier now because of Relic Delta. But if you did it at Relic 5, like we did it back then with no Relic Delta, that Hondo tier really beats the shit out of you. But it's really the only hard tier in the Afra journey. Every other part of that journey is not too tough. Who's the best fifth? It depends on who you ask. I am proud. I would probably say I like using B2 in the fifth slot, especially if I'm using it against Jabba. If you ask somebody like Belloc, they're going to tell you that I'm a dumbass and you don't need to use B2. I've never had very much luck out of using that team without B2 on the team as well. But they're, I'm still learning with IG90 what they can and can't do. Man, there's a lot of people who hate TW enough where they would be happy with CG removing it. They're not going to remove it. We know that they're not going to remove it. I'm not going to even say that that's ever an option. They need to fix the game mode so bad, like so terribly bad. No joke. Hot, did you post a joke? I know you've been posting jokes a lot this week, and I've been reading them. I haven't been reacting. I haven't been on Discord a lot. I've been very, very busy this week between trying to get Conquest stuff out, between just stuff on my account, between life. I have not been interacting with Discord as much, but I have been reading your jokes. Did you post a joke? Oh, here it is. I was flirting with the most gorgeous woman at the bar last night. At one point, I told her, believe it or not, I have the most famous last name in all of Ireland. She smiled and replied, oh, really? It'd be more like O'Reilly, but yeah. And I'm like, how did you know? Do you just sit in your room thinking up these jokes, or do you go on the internet? They shot themselves in the foot by making Droid Brains farmable. I disagree, actually. I think that CG made a bunch of decisions based on where they want the game to go. So I personally believe that this game runs on a 2-year timeline when it comes to development. And they try to plan things out 48 months in advance. Now, that is to say, anything in that not 48 months, holy shit, 24 months in advance. Anything in that 12-month mark of what we're dealing with right now is in active development. Anything in that 13 to 24-month time frame maybe isn't in active development and is subject to change based on what's happening in-game, what's happening with Disney, what's happening with whatever else needs to be happening. But overall, they kind of have a framework. And I think that Droid Brains being in there has more to do with making it so that Relic 7 is basically free. Relic 8 and 9 is basically the old Relic 7 and 8. Relic 10 is the old Relic 9. And that by the end of the year, we will see Relic 12. I think everything that has to do with Relic Delta and Relics was based around getting us comfortable with it and making it as easy as possible to adapt so that they can change it for us in the near future. And I don't particularly think that that's like a conspiracy theory so much as it's just smart game design. It makes TW irrelevant. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh, God. It makes TW irrelevant right now, but I do think that they are going to make changes to TW. I do think that that we will see some changes maybe in the next year. I don't necessarily think TW was very relevant before this because Relic 9 was only cursorily interesting. My guild was barely interacting with TW even before the change. Now, though, we get to do some more R9s than we were before. See what else we got. We all know that you are CG. Egnards is just your Palpatine form. And also, Shadow, good morning, buddy. That is what I am. I'm tired. Have a good stream. I appreciate it, Shadow. I don't know if you're still here because you're probably sleeping, but I appreciate it. But no, I mean, Phil has been on vacation. My hot takes are not based on conspiracy theories. They're based on understanding game theory to some extent. But while we're talking, let's get into TW, right? Because why not at this point? We have the TW hero. My Gungans are always on offense. I like to use my Gungans. My Gungans are fun for me. So let's see what we got here. Oh, Gungans versus Trench. Perfect. I don't think I need it. Yeah, I don't think that I need a... what is it called? A Datacron for this. Yeah, I mean, Meathead is always soliciting things for different game modes. He's reached out to me about a few things. I've put together a few packets of information for him on different things in the game that he's asked me for. I'm not going to speak on them just because I don't know what is solicited publicly versus privately. No, Zap, I don't think a 2-year dev... I think you're misunderstanding when I say a 2-year dev cycle. What I mean by a 2-year dev cycle is that they have plans for what they want changed, right? And I don't think 2 years is too long. I think it's actually very smart for them to say, okay, we're making these changes now for XYZ. What's the purpose of these changes that we're making now? What are we doing with these changes? Something like TW might take a very long time to build out. So maybe that's the 2-year change because it takes so long to deal with that shit. Do we do nothing in the interim while these 3 people are working on the back end code? Or do we work on other things in the meantime? You know, there are 20, 30 people working at CG. They're not all working on exactly the same thing. My Gungans fuck Gazabald. They fuck. They're my favorite. I love my Gungans. Let's see what else is in this other wall before I start throwing things in. I guess we do have some GL teams we could throw things at. Let's do Stranger. Maul. Star Killer. Barris. Nope, wrong Barris. Isa. And this one here. Sure they can. They're, you know, remember, even with one laptop, one person is not working at all times, right? While CG Microwave is on a poop break, Meathead is on Discord talking to the community. So they've got that all figured out. We've been waiting 8 years for a TW change. But that doesn't mean that they have been in active development of a TW change for 8 years. And it hasn't been 8 years. They made a change, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, whether we liked those changes or not. I personally hated them because it meant I had to do more with TW, with the team increases. I think that the game mode, I think one hard thing about changing that game mode is that they need to figure out a way to make it so that players are not on call during TW. That is the biggest thing, is that players are not on call. That is the worst. That is the worst part of the game mode. It is the part that is the most frustrating about the game mode, is having to be constantly checking back in. Yeah, I agree. As a player base, we've been waiting a long time for it. But in that time, we have seen other things come to the game, whether they were popular or not, but they have fundamentally changed the game. We don't have all of the information. And I will say, yeah, I think that the game mode does need to significantly shift if they want to see players meaningfully interacting with it. Whether they feel like that's the most smart use of their resources, you know, that remains to be seen. Well, Zap, I think that may be why it takes so long, because the on-call nature of TW is against the very nature of everything else in this game. Nothing else in this game requires players to be on call. Everything else gives you a 24-hour time period in which to do things. And I think that that is one of the fundamental problems. Another 300k in the raid. God, I can't wait. I want to say I can't wait for the next raid, but who knows? Order 66 has been very friendly to players. It has been insanely player friendly, and who knows if the next raid will be. I expect that under banning squads will be gone. I expect that you will have to bring in 5, or that they will make it even harder to do undermans. They clearly tried to make it difficult in this raid, and it did not work out well for them. Unaligned force users. We got the TW hero resistance. I think we can do this with random resistance. I don't think we need anything crazy here to beat this. You're not getting raid requirements yet, Adis. You know that. We're not getting raid requirements until at least May. They usually give us about a month. Sometimes I think even less than a month. But yeah, exactly. I said this to you in Discord. I've said this before. A lot of people have stopped working on Order 66, but I think that they know the minute that they release raid requirements is the minute that everybody stops working on Order 66. And they don't want to do that. They also don't want to give people too much time, is really what it boils down to. I don't know if it's going to matter, you know, because I think it's going to be predominantly new stuff. So I don't think giving us the time is even going to make any real fundamental difference. They always underestimate the community's ability to do things. Look at that. I got my 1 armor shred. Nice. I should be taking out these Leias, right? But I don't care. Yeah, well, let's go Leia versus Leia. There's Jin. I gotta raise his Jin up there. Jin Erso. Crit damage. Let's do that one. Okay, fuck you. Okay. Drogon's dead. Nice. We do know that Andor will be included. I mean, technically, we don't know that Andor will be included, but I think that there's very strong signaling that Andor will be included. That's just me being pedantic at this point, right? Because I do think they'd be ridiculous not to include Andor. I think that if we have an era where, like Andor, where nothing is included in the new Premier game mode, it will really bite them in the ass. Yeah, I'm not worried about the armor shred thing. Because I don't need any of the tokens from this quest. I have 3 characters in my roster who are under G13 right now. One of them is Imperial Probe Droid. One of them, I think, is Boba Fett, Scion of Django. Let's see. And I think the other one is Canderous. But the Mandalorian token will take care of him. Right? So I'm going to... I mean, I should bring Probe Droid to G13. I should bring Boba Fett to G13. But other than that... I'm not too worried about getting the quest done right away. Raid info, I'm telling you, when they release the information for the next raid, or for the next era, that is when we are getting information for the raid. The moment they say, hey, this is what's happening, is the moment that they're gonna say, oh, by the way, this is the next raid. Yeah, and I have plenty of gear. I'm not worried about bringing them up. I've heard Scribe say that. I don't agree with it. I think that they know that a lot of people are going to push Andor content, and if they do it later, on, that they're going to end up getting that panic buying from the secondary group. Keypads for MK3, Hobnob, I'm going to tell you, this is what I do. Guild activity here, right? With guild activity, MK3, Raid 3 goes to arrow magnifiers and impulse detectors. MK2 goes to Zimbittles and electrium conductors. MK1 goes to not chromium transistors, bronzium wiring, carbonate circuit boards. But now that I am fully done on those, I don't need anything. They go to mod materials only. MK3, I spend my MK3 exclusively on impulse detectors and Gerda keypads. I don't buy anything else with MK3. I think anyone that buys micro attenators with MK3 is a dummy. Like a dummy, dumb. That's my personal opinion. But, I know that it is a popular choice for people. Hey, Henry. What's up, brother? Okay, let's do this. I think, so everybody believes that the MK3 for Gray is the only thing that's bugged. But Meathead said that they're both bugged. So I'm not buying either of those things until we get a patch that confirms whether that's bugged or not. I'm hoping that both of them go to MK1. But I could see green being at MK2, staying at MK2. I have said this when it first came out. I kind of said that the green for MK2 is something that I would buy every once in a while. I would buy it if I was really heavy on the materials that I need. I wouldn't buy it as an all the time thing. The way that I see MK3 is I'd rather buy a relic material that actually benefits my account than buy the chance at benefiting my account. That's my goal when it comes to those things. I don't know if this will work. I have no idea. What? Let's find out together. Hey, Berm. Berm, I saw you were playing MTG Arena last week, and I wanted to message you. I just re-downloaded it. like 2 weeks ago, and I've been playing a little bit of the Ninja Turtles set. I don't have a lot of time to play often, but definitely when the summer comes around. But this is TW Hero Day. This is where I just throw random shit at the wall, man. I have no idea if this is gonna work. It probably won't. It's a cupcake war. I don't give a shit. Yeah, I mean, especially with Smugglers Run 3 now, I don't really see, like, I'm constantly so up on microatonators, and I feel like they do need to increase the cap on those now. With Smugglers Run 3 alone gives you like 65% of the cap. Mandalorians? I don't know. I saw that you were streaming, and I almost jumped in, but I was busy at the time. Speaking of streaming, for those of you that don't read my Discord messages, you should. I think that they're funny sometimes. This is a strange time of year for me. So there are going to be a bunch of weeks where there is no brunch. What do you mean you'll download? I thought you were playing it. I thought I saw you playing MTG Arena. Oh, other games. Yeah, I gotcha. So this is a strange time of year. Next week, I have my black belt run for my upcoming black belt test for my students, and that's on Sunday morning. So we will not have a stream. The week after, we'll have a stream, and then the week after that, I have a street fair that I have to do for my business, so there won't be a brunch. We'll try to do alternate brunches. We'll try to do maybe GAC stuff, but just expect a couple of no brunch days, unfortunately. I must know, since I didn't stick around for the result, what was the result of your anthropomorphic Jedi potato prompt for Beaver's AI thing? So I sent him a prompt. He never sent it to me, but he Discord messaged me. I'll find the Discord message because it was funny. Right, he's doing his Damathon, and one of his things was to write a fan fiction between two content creators, him and someone else. And he messaged me and he goes, "Hey, I need like your profile. I need your character profile." And so this is what I sent Beaver, so that he could put this into his AI for his love story between us. Egnards is an anthropomorphic male egg who is also a Jedi. Key character traits: intellectually precise. Egnards has a razor-sharp, numbers-driven mind. He sees patterns, inefficiencies, and long-term consequences instantly. But he doesn't flex it constantly, only when it matters or when someone is about to make a really dumb decision. Morally grounded. He operates on a personal code. Do what's best for the group, not what's flashiest for yourself. He's the kind of character who will sacrifice personal gain just to prove a point about fairness and efficiency. Dry, understated humor. Not a joke machine, more like a sniper. Delivers humor with deadpan timing, mild sarcasm, and an "I can't believe I have to explain this" energy. The disappointed dad energy. He's not angry, he's worse, disappointed. He doesn't yell, he explains slowly, clearly, painfully. Somehow that hits harder than shouting ever could. Pragmatic and over-emotional. He doesn't chase hype, trends, or emotional decisions. If something is inefficient or irrational, he will call it out even if it's unpopular. Trust-building presence. People listen when he speaks, not because he demands attention, but because he's usually right. He explains why. He doesn't manipulate or oversell. Strengths. Strategic thinker. Excellent communicator of complex ideas. Resistant to manipulation or hype, builds loyalty through honesty. Flaws: can come off as condescending, low tolerance for stupidity or inefficiency, not naturally hype or emotionally engaging, which is the story of my life. Sometimes assumes others should understand things as quickly as he does, looking for love in all of the wrong places. So that is the profile that Rabid Beaver put in for his AI fanfic between us. I have not read the fanfic. He didn't send it to me. I didn't even realize it was finished. So screw you, Beaver. You're supposed to send that to me. What business do I have? I have a dojo. I own a martial arts studio. Looking for love in Alderaan places. We're going to try not to use anybody that is Old Republic in this team. To see if Satil does anything in TW. I think we got this. As everybody stops talking, they're all whacking off to my personal profile. And then we want mission, right? Because that makes more sense here. And let's just see what happens. Oh, beautiful. Good. There we go. It's starting to work. I faced an R10 squad with my R7 clones, and her first AoE decimated my clones. What happened? She hit your ass with Relic Delta, and the fact that she does a fuck ton of damage on her AoE. So an AoE, yeah, well, with her protection damage and with a Relic Delta of 3, I could see that happening, honestly. She does a ton of... Oh, I probably should have used it against Stranger. Oh, well, I don't care that much. The interesting thing about Satil, though, is she has very, very specific strengths and weaknesses. Like, she's very easy to kill with Inquisitors, very easy to kill with C. But against the right teams, she just hits so damn hard. But then again, like in my last GAC, against Spider Maul, my team lost because I lost Revan in the opening barrage. My Revan is R8. It was very annoying. It kind of pissed me off. But it can happen is the point. I would bring my Revan up higher, but I need to be hoarding my resources right now. It is raid horde time. There we go. Moving the needle one armor shred at a time. What are we at? We are at 25 because I didn't place any defense. Man, my mod video, those filters, man, they have made my life so much easier. Right? Like, being able to know that a mod is not something that I would use. Anyone not, I mean, you don't have to use my filters, but anyone not using mod filters really needs to assess with themselves, like why they're not using filters. Where's Shin? Oh, there she is. And I will tell people, go out, watch that mod video, because you will. I mean, it's hard. When you pull the trigger on filters and it deletes like 150 mods, and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna be so low on mods. They're mods you weren't gonna use anyway. They are the shitty mods. Be smart with yourself. Save yourself time. Get rid of the mods that are not going to be used. The updated ones, Ani, are a little bit more selective. What they do, essentially, is they use my old ones. They've loosened up on a few things on my old ones, but they tighten up on flat stats, so you're not wasting your time on mods that have 4 flat stats. Well, 3 flat stats, because 4, because speed is technically a flat stat. This is stupid. Can you just go? And they're not looking for things, you know, like if I'm using an offense set, if it is an offense set item that does not have an offense primary, it's going to delete anything that doesn't have an offense secondary. Because why are you using an offense set that doesn't have a secondary offense? It just doesn't make sense. My city mods. Look, I don't speak English well. Oh my God, this is, I don't know if, I'm sure a lot of you know Lady Geek. She's very well known in the community, but we have been commiserating over this for, and she's probably here right now in lurking, but we have been commiserating over this for the last like 3 weeks. Anytime someone on Reddit posts about how they have great mods and like they're always at 490 of 500, she will find their .gg. And she will find their mod score, and their mod score will be like 1.4. So that was the catalyst for upping my mod game. And I told her that we are naming it the Lady Geek Theory of Mod Relativity in her honor. Because she is so right. Everybody, I mean, I understand the desire to wanting more mod slots, but anybody who thinks that that's going to solve their problem does not understand mods. Because Onslaught, there's no way you have 485 mods worth keeping. There's no fucking way, man. That many mods worth keeping? Where's my... Where the fuck? Oh, there he is. I don't think I need one. Okay, Cotton Warlock, are you a gay fish? You like fish sticks? Kind of regretting this. Oh, maybe this will work. Okay. Gross. Not keeping things that are at 5 speed is just the start of modding, right? That's like the very basic of filtering. I don't know. This might not work. I need at least one more turn. Am I going to get my one more turn? Yes, I am. All right, we are good. I haven't watched South Park in a long time. I do know like very classic references. I remember when it came out. I was in like the 4th grade. My mom, no, I think it was in the 5th grade. My mom banned me from watching it, which you can't ban things in a suburban household. That just means that you're gonna watch it. Just means you're gonna find a way. Oh my god, just never ending. Let's do, I don't know, Shakti? Sure, let's do that. And let's go for it. And TW hero time takes so long. But ma'am, I want the fish stick. What's up, Kenobi? How's it going? Listen, as a Padawan man, you fuck. Padawan Kenobi fucks. Like, he hits so damn hard. And in Conquest, that is one thing I will contend that I was so wrong about when it first came out. Padawan Obi-Wan's Omicron is just god tier for saving time. Yeah, let's do that. And I don't know, something with light speed. Why is Bad Batch Eku used with Quad May? For the debuffs, but also because it's TW hero time. And in TW hero time, we're just throwing shit against the wall to see how many things we can kill with whatever is in our roster. And it doesn't necessarily mean that anything we're using is good at all. We don't know what goes against what in TW. We don't care what goes against what in TW. Padawan Omicron, the Padawan Obi-Wan's Omicron is just, it saves me so much time. Like so much time in in Conquest. Do I need it? No, I don't need it. But you know what? Time is my most valuable resource. A lot of players do not understand that. That time is, well, time is the most valuable thing. Let's see. Are there any weaker? Let's do it. Let's try it. Relic Delta -2. We should be okay. Do you need both Amis? I have personally found that in 5s against Padawan Obi-Wan, or against Quad May, if you want to use New Batch, you probably really want both Omicrons. I don't know if both are definitely needed, but my win rates have considerably gone up. But at the same time, not a lot of people put that on defense anymore because it has gotten easier and easier to beat. Used to be a defense staple. You're good. What do we got left? I mean, I don't know about Treya. maybe Treya with that Omicron. Let's just try it. Let's see what happens. What are we doing? What's going on here? Am I a lore guy? I'm not a lore guy. And I've said that in Zeta Protocol a lot. I am all I am all about the math in this game. And when I was doing Zeta Protocol with Pico, he was the lore guy, and I always deferred to him. I was like, hey man, tell me who this character is. I don't read a lot of Star Wars stuff unless it's like the really good stuff. I do watch the shows, but I'm generally late to the party on the shows. I am a watch things once kind of person. So I don't pick up on the nuances of every little thing in the shows. No, I'm not really a lore guy. Because I like, my thing is, there is so much content in this world, and there's so much good content. Books, movies, TV shows. Why would I waste my time watching things more than once to learn every little detail when I could be watching something new? No, I'd rather be interacting with something new and something different than experiencing something I haven't experienced before. So like, I'll have talks with friends about books. I remember after I had read The Name of the Wind, I talked to a friend about it who had suggested it to me. And he hadn't read it in maybe like 3 or 4 years. And I was talking to him about certain scenes, and he was like, oh, don't you remember this minute detail from page 783? And I was like, bro, I barely remember that, and I read this yesterday. Like, how do you keep that in your head? How does that? I just don't understand. About Maz. Yeah, look, Berm, that's different. Watching something with your kids, bonding with your kids, to me, that is totally different than like rewatching things over and over and over again. I have an answer, I guess. I don't. My favorite is when people say I have a question, and then I go, I have an answer, and then they go, I hope you do. And I go, no, I will have an answer. I just don't know if it's the answer that you want. I don't fucking know is an answer to your question. Sometimes. Maybe it's the autism. It's very likely. Yeah. For me, when it comes to like TVs, movies, shows, I remember the feeling of watching something. I remember the idea behind like how I felt in a certain scene or watching a movie more than I remember every individual detail of something specific that I might be watching. I played Destiny at launch. I thought it was a shitty game at launch. My ex-girlfriend's brother really loved the idea of Destiny, so I bought it to bond with him. The game was fucking terrible. And then I came back like 2 or 3 years later to play it right before Destiny 2 came out. And I was like, wow, this is a really, really great game. This is so much better. And then Destiny 2 came out, and I played it with a friend, and I was like, wow, all of the cool things that they did in Destiny 1, they got rid of. Every quality of life. They like literally just started over. And this game is shit again. So I stopped playing after like 2 months. Sinners is a great movie. Loved Sinners. We just saw the drama yesterday. I don't know people who likes movies, who doesn't. I really enjoyed it. for me, it's a standout movie this year. There are other standout movies as well, but to me, the drama is just a really, really solid movie. If I were raised by a Star Wars character from a young age, who would I pick? I mean, you all want me to say Jar Jar, right? Like, that's like, oh, Egnards is going to say Jar Jar because LOL, Egnards loves Jar Jar. Man, if I were I probably Kyle Katarn. Kyle Katarn is my hands down de facto favorite Star Wars character of all time. That is a character I can get behind in all aspects of Star Wars. Kyle Katarn, hands down. Get a leap. Gotta get this mark off. Kyle Katarn fresh off of a nap. Fuck. I was really hoping. Whatever, we're just gonna take the... Oh, I guess we're not taking a resurrection there. There we go. There's our resurrection. I think we're safe now. Okay, I think we're good now. Yeah, Kyle Katarn is hands down my favorite character in all of Star Wars. And I think that this game did him dirty. Like, dirty, dirty. Do we have the highest attacking banners? Yes, we do. 417. We have left here. I could do a profundity here, right? Profundity is not on defense. I love the Jedi Outcast games. I grew up on Dark Forces. My brother had a PC. He would let me play on it. I grew up on Dark Forces 1 and 2. When Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy came out, I had my own PC at that time. And I loved the crap out of those games. Playing those games online as well. The lightsaber duels for early 2000s were insane. Like, insane how crazy the lightsaber duels were. And it always comes back to Fallen Order. I'm so disappointed by Fallen Order, and I just feel like Jedi Academy, even for being a game from 20 years ago, it outclasses it without a second thought. And I say that as someone who did go back and I did replay them, and yes, they are janky at some points, but the lightsaber fighting is so much better. I fucking hate the Dark Souls style combos in Fallen Order and Survivor. You have a lightsaber? I used to have I had a lightsaber. There was a local convention that came around a long time ago. I was a teen. My brother bought me one of those fiberglass style lightsabers. I don't remember the exact material, but this was back when it was like new and different. And the guys told us that you could like lightsaber duel with them. And my brother and I, we had like the metal hilts and we had the thing, and we went out into the backyard and we beat the shit out of each other. Like, just beat the crap out of each other with those things. It was so much fun. I don't know. Will Empire work here? Let's find out. I have Marjade. We're here. Let's go. Where's Royal Guard and Tarkin? Just see what happens, I guess. That stun. Don't love that. The cooldown increase. Okay, we've got our savior. What I don't like about Survivor is the battles just feel so very one note, unless you like buy with you know, your points or whatever, the different combos. And I said, like, I got to the end of the game on hard mode with 30. I had 30 extra skill points because I didn't feel any need to buy any of those combos. I want lightsaber fighting needs to be more cinematic. And I just don't think that they did that for me. Jedi Academy did that really well for what it was 20 years ago. And if they brought back that type of combat, but really tuned it up for this age, I think it could have done really, really well. I just think that Survivor was too safe of a game. I mean, I only have Leia's left. I don't have anything great that I can go after. I don't have anything great that I can use either. But right now, we are in first place for successful attacks by a pretty decent margin. So I think that we're successful in being TW Hero today, right? And we'll go into roster reviews in just a minute, but you know, today's an easy day. So let's do some chatting once I check the store out and buy some mod material, and nothing useful there for me. All right, we'll go in there. You're a voice actor in the Dutch game for Star Wars. I mean, that's awesome, man. I think voice acting is super cool. I could never do it. I have one voice. I think that's fucking dope, and I think that's a cool thing to be able to say, honestly. My opinion on the Force Unleashed games. So last summer, Warlock, I played through the Jedi Academy games on stream. I had a lot of fun doing it. And then we started playing the Force Unleashed 1. I bought the Force Unleashed 1 like 15 years ago. I played like half of it. I gave up on it. I came back to it now. I started playing it again. I gave up on it again. I don't really like the Force Unleashed games. I feel like they're just a power fantasy game, and I don't even particularly think that they do it well. It's just you know, like a 15-year-old white male circle jerk power fantasy. I don't think that the games did very much interesting. When we talk about like power fantasy, and I know that the game came out later, like Spider-Man was not a particularly hard game, but I feel like the combat was so fun that you enjoyed the fact that even though you were clearly better than your opponents, there was a lot of masterfully figuring out how to do each combat between like jumping on walls and doing things. I don't think that the Force Unleashed did that. I think it was a lot of button mashing and hitting things as hard and as fast as you could. And it seemed cool and it looked cool. But I don't really think that there was a lot of depth to it. I did not play the second one, though. I've only played about half of the first one. And it didn't really appeal to me. What do you think is coming next now that Cassian is out? I don't fucking know. I do math. I have spreadsheets. I'm not the lore guy. I'm the math guy. I have value packs. If you want me to talk to you about the value of packs in this game, I got you covered. You want me to help you figure out your next farm? I got you fucking covered. You want me to talk about what's next? I don't fucking care. My best guess is probably Mandalorian content. With Mandalorian and Grogu coming up in May, and I only know that because I go to movies constantly and I love movies. They're probably going to do Mandalorian content, even if it's not Mandalorian and Grogu content. Remember that when Mandalorian Season 2 came out, we got Mandalorian Season 1 content. So we'll probably get material from like Season 2 and 3 of The Mandalorian. Maybe we'll get the N1 Starfighter. Maybe we'll get another version of The Mandalorian. We'll probably get a bunch of that shit to at least tie it into it. To be able to say, hey, like this is cursorily related. Maybe the journey guide will be a Mandalorian and Grogu character. Maybe that'll be the Mandalorian. I have no idea. But I think that that's probably the safest bet. Yeah, see, Khan Warlock is on this. It's not something that I think about a lot, but that's probably the safest bet for the new content coming to the game. Is Mandalorian. It also depends, because what a lot of people don't understand, and I know a lot of you do understand this, because I talk about it a lot, but Disney is part of the decision-making process for this game. Everything goes through Disney. And to one extent, CG might say, hey, can we do this character? And Disney says, no, we don't want you to do that character. Or it might be as simple for CG to say, hey, we want to do Mace Windu. And Disney comes back and says, well, the purple you used in Mace Windu's lightsaber is 00FF01, but it's really supposed to be 00FFE1 or some bullshit like that. So you need to change that. But it can be as much as Disney saying, hey, we want you to focus on Mandalorian content over the next 3 months. We want you to do this over as a tie-in for our stuff. I'm sure that CG gets a little bit of advance notice on things. They probably don't get full reveals of what's going on in the movies. But they 100% are taking cues from Disney on what they want to do. And with The Mandalorian and Grogu coming up as a major motion picture and as the first time Star Wars has been on the big screen since the fucking travesty of the sequel trilogy, they're probably going to want to do some big stuff to get everybody involved. Will S. Maul return before the next era JG tune? My belief for Spider Maul is that you are probably going to see Spider Maul return to the game about 2 to 3 weeks after New Vader is farmable. That is probably the sweet spot on not pissing people off, but also on maximizing the second run money. Because you want people to have had a chance to farm everything, but you also want people to spend crystals who maybe have done some farming, but not like fully farmed. So I think probably 2 to 3 weeks after New Vader comes out, they will bring Spider Maul back. User, I just checked on your account, man. You are in the top 170 accounts. I think you're like 167 on GAC right now. You are fucking welcome, man. God damn, I am so good at GAC. I am fucking banging on that shit. I know you normally play your GACs. It's been more of a short-term thing that I have been helping you out with that, but god damn, I'm good. Very optimistic. It's not that I'm very optimistic. I think that that's the maximum money stream time, Ani. I think that if they release Spider Maul before Darth Vader comes out, too many people will be pissed. It'll be a problem. And if they release it too far after, if they release it too far after Darth Vader comes out, then you lose out on all of that second run money. right? If you wait 3 months after Darth Maul or Darth Vader, everybody's going to have every one of those characters, and there's no reason for anyone to spend any money on that next event. I think first event is where people spend big money. Second event, people spend a pretty okay amount to get those last shards. Third event, nobody's spending any money for those characters. So I think you want to get that maximized money there. Do I live on other platforms? I am on YouTube. It's at Egnar, Egnar, because some other asshat has Egnards on YouTube. I do a lot of videos there that are related to the math of this game. I'm on Reddit, at Egnards on Reddit. We have a Discord if you're not on our Discord. Slice of Otagunga. I'm sure somebody can link it. It is a pretty major Discord for the game. It's pretty large. It's almost 4,000 people there. So yeah, I am in other places, but you know, I generally only stream when I want to. More video stuff. New era tracking. I honestly, I don't have bots or anything. Master Kenobi, I'm too stupid to do that shit. I don't know how to make things work when it comes to bots and whatever else. Hold on, I'll get it for you. It is. There you go. Only losers are on Reddit. Takes one to know one, Lady Geek. New era tracking for Andor. I'm gonna be honest with you, user. I completely stopped doing. I forgot. You kept me so damn busy with other stuff that I just completely forgot to continue tracking the characters, and I'm not that worried about it, honestly. I'm gonna pave my own path on figuring that stuff out. We'll look at what things look like at the end of the era with numbers and everything. It's really the only thing that functionally matters anyway. Let's see, premium review. Oh, we got Met. All right, we'll get you in there today. We could do that. A lot of premium reviews today. Over the last couple of weeks, actually. You are good at keeping me busy, and it has been a problem for, like, my Conquest shit. I just finished it this morning. You have access to that document. I'm hoping that Moonborn gets it finished by tonight so that I can film it, because I don't know what other time I'm going to have for filming it. So, you know, we will see with that if I can even get that out. But honestly, this Conquest coming up, like, we can look at it, and I'll show you, like, our Discord, right? We go over here, premium reviews, Cobb Vanth, ooh, almost spilled my coffee. Let's move this over, right? And let us gotta zoom this out or some shit. Not going to stretch that. We don't want to stretch it. Bring this down. Move this over. Like, Conquest, this Conquest looks fucking easy. Like, this Conquest looks easy as shit. Other than, like, the things that are like, oh, if you don't have a character, you can't do this thing because you don't have that character. But other than that, I don't think anybody that normally red crates is going to have a problem with getting a red crate at all. I think it's going to be not a problem. I think, you know, obviously error units, if you didn't invest them in them at all, you're going to have a little bit of trouble there. If you invested in them and got them to relics, even at 4 or 5 stars, I think you're going to be okay. Relic Delta is now in Conquest, whether for good or for bad. I think it's going to make things just slightly harder for me, because I don't like that feats disc. I don't think that it works the way I want it to work. I think it'll just make my life a pain in the ass. But I don't think we're going to have a problem here. I think most people are going to be okay here. And I almost didn't even do the Conquest guide, and then user yelled at me. So we'll go from there. All right. So what we are going to do, I got to find the correct button, the editor. No, I don't want to go to the layout editor. I'm going to go to studio mode. You're going to pop in over here. Good. Pop that out. Look at that. I messed it up. All right. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm just going to get some water, go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And then we have roster reviews. We have a lot of roster reviews today. I'm going to try to get as many done as possible. But at the same time, it's been a while since we've done egg draws. So I really do want to get to egg draws now that I'm feeling better. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to get through everything. Give me 2 minutes and I will be right back.
Egnards is having a break and taking a roster reviews, talking to me that what pack sex should sell to you. Ooh, to you. To you.
All right, we're back. I don't know what happened. On my side, my music was bugged out. It wasn't even showing the equalizer slider. But I know that we've had that problem in the past. Oh, did I put both on? Yeah, see, if you were hearing both at the same time, I apologize. It was kind of bugged on my side. And that was a problem. Like to DP the algorithm. You know, a great way to DP the algorithm is to make sure that you're following me. Jackasses on YouTube are like, I don't subscribe to anybody. I just see you on Sunday mornings. We have a lot of reviews. We're gonna see what's coming up. We got one of my guild mates, La Ding Dong. We're gonna pop that up first. We're gonna go over here. Of course, I didn't set anything up ahead of time because that is not my style to do. The Ding Dong is a longtime supporter and also a guild mate, because that's how I get guild mates. I treat them really nicely on Discord, and then eventually they graduate to being in my guild. And every once in a while they leave me because they find something better, which is rare. The Ding Dong, triple penetrating the algorithm. The Ding Dong wants a TB focused review, kind of bored with a few parts of the game, which I think a lot of us are feeling the same thing. Really enjoy TB, so that is where I want to focus. Are you coordinating? It doesn't exist, but I get one reliably. Assault battles, you are doing all of your assault battles at our at CT3, except for Peridia Patrol, which is still at Relic 7. Currently working on nothing really, getting shards for the era of whatever characters that came out, mostly shards for Forlom and for Zuckerberg. I don't know if your phone auto-corrected or if you just call him Zuckerberg. I prefer Zoidberg personally, but I will allow it. Are you dead set on continuing? No. I suppose for my needs, efficiency is probably better. Are there any favorite characters you want to prioritize, even though you know it's not smart? No. Shards for important proving grounds characters. Satil is at 240 something. So I want to pause here, and if Sin, CYN, is in the chat at all and listening, see, I don't make people red crate, right? Obviously, La Ding Dong did not red crate. Probably gold crates, didn't buy anything, maybe less. He doesn't like Conquest. It's fine. I get it. All I really ask for is that people participate in Conquest, right? You don't participate in Conquest, and or maybe you just started participating in Conquest. The Ding Dong gets through. He gets it in the 5-6 month time frame. I personally think it's a mistake at this level of the game, but then fine. Everybody they manage their time however they want to manage their time. Everyone else is R7 plus. All right, so we got a 13.1 million account in Sleeping Gungalorians, the best damn guild in this game right now. I love it. I love the name. I'm super pumped that my guild leader finally allowed me to do that. I have been pushing for it for a very long time. Doesn't really do much GAC. I'm aware of that. Hits his number 1 every day. It kind of sucks to drop into the 20s. I hate when that happens. You heard that flower red crates Conquest. Okay. I mean, when you're looking at a 13, 14 million account that presumably has everything, right? And we're just going to do a quick check because I'm pretty sure I do every fucking time I do that. Pretty sure we have everything in terms of journey guide characters. We do. So when you're at this point of the game, it actually is more beneficial to look at the bottom of a roster than it is to look at the top of a roster. So let's kind of take a look down here and let's see what this looks like. Now I'm actually going to look because he had messaged me something in the members chat earlier about TB. I think it was yesterday. Roster review is geared towards R8, R9. Actually, I can do every R8 now that I think about it, except Phoenix and the Kessel special. I want to bring my Phoenix to R8 personally in the short term. It's a very easy mission from what I'm told. So for a TB-oriented guild, I don't think it's a bad idea to finalize your Phoenix, depending on what is at R8 already. Nothing is R8 already, okay. But like even bringing just C-Rex to start and doing this kind of slowly, C-Rex to start, probably I would do Hera next. I think the team I would bring into that mission is Hera, C-Rex, probably Sabine, Ezra, and Kanan Jarrus. Just thinking about the ships, just thinking about who is useful. Chopper, maybe, but those are probably the 5 that I would try. Lothal is easy. Lothal is a very easy planet with all of the assists, so I don't really think it's going to matter. But it's not a bad shout to go for that mission, since our guild is in a place where we need day 4, day 5, and day 6 combat. We need day 3 combats too, but day 4, day 5, and day 6 combats, every additional combat is beautiful there, right? So it is, I think, worth it to do that. Looking at the bottom, there's nothing else really catching my eye here yet for things that are kind of like a travesty. You know, Quiggled for GAC, but you don't really participate in GAC very heavily. Quiggle does well in R9 combats as well. Okay. Let's sort by Relic 9. do have a full R9 pirate team. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is our 5th pirate? No 5th pirate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we do. We have Hondo. Okay. So I think for your account, obviously we want to play it safe right now because of raid, right? So we want to make sure that we are in a good position for the raid to be able to do and build characters up heavily. But I think one of the glaring, fundamentally missing things in your account, quite honestly, is the Peridia Pals to Relic, at least Relic 8. But honestly, again, like at your level, when you have everything, they should be Relic 9. The big reason for that, though, doesn't even have to do with the resource event. Mandalore is a 3-day planet for us. And DTMG has his own mission on Mandalore. And I know you're not doing that mission because you're DTMG right now. Okay. Oh, wait. These are R8. Okay. All right. So you did bring them to R8. All right. Is there not an R8 tier of that mission? Let's see. Is there no R8 tier? It just goes from R7 to R9? Huh. Of course the wiki doesn't load. Why would it? Let's go to Reddit. I guess there's only an R7 tier. Oh, hey, this is me. Okay, then I'm gonna say never mind there. I mean, I still think they should go to R9 because you have nothing else to do. It's free fucking resources. At this level of the game, not having those free resources is just silly to me. But at the same time, you know, raid. We're at a point in the game. He learns something new about the game every day. I learn one new thing every day, and I forget 3 things every day. We're at a really interesting time in the game, and I talked to my guild, maybe before you joined the guild, I'm not sure. I talked to the guild about this last year around this time. We're at a time in the game where we have new characters coming out, and those new characters are presumably going to be part of the next raid. Presumably. We don't necessarily know for sure. The best thing you can do as a player in our area of the game is to find teams that are multi-layered. So, for example, in about a month, we will probably know if Andor characters are raid characters. And if Andor characters are raid characters, the Rebel team, the Cassian Andor team, should go to R9 because they will be a raid team and they will help you out with a TB node. The ISB team, I'm not convinced that they'll be a good R9 team, but that Imperial Probe Droid Omicron makes it look like they might be a pretty good TB team. So that becomes another team where if they are a raid team that you bring straight to R9 because it's going to help you in the raid, it's going to help the guild in the raid, and it's going to help you in TB. And we are at a point in the game where we'll probably have that information over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So if I were to give you any advice right now, is that the only characters that you should be bringing up literally immediately is you should be doing your Peridia Pals to R9 so that you're getting the free resources. You've wasted so many free resources on not having them there. And then I would just be hoarding to high hell. And I know that your era stuff is only 5-star right now. Like, I understand that, if I remember correctly from your account. But I also know that you are somebody that, like, doesn't spend, and then you get FOMO, and then you do spend. So then you end up having everybody there anyway, if they're characters that are needed. I would be hoarding right now as heavily as I could outside of those 3 characters, and I would just wait for raid information, and I would use that raid information to inform my teams that going forward. If the raid weren't coming up, so if you're like, Egnards, that's a cop-out on a roster review. If the raid weren't coming out right now, the one R9 team that I think is just worth it for a guild in our position is the Mandalore team, the Mandalorian team. Bringing those characters to R9, again, Mandalore is a 3-day mission. It is worth more points than any other mission. It is so worth it to bring those characters up for those points. But I would recommend against it and hoard until we have raid information, and using that raid information to inform whether or not you go forward with a project or not. Phoenix, still a good shout. It's not super expensive to bring up, but honestly, I would maybe hold off on them for right now. That's really the best thing that I can tell you at this point, just because of where we are in the game. All right, we got another premium review request from MetGreDKO. I always say MetGreDKO, but it's DKO. Met, which came in hot early this morning. Let's see, what time are we at? We're at 1:30. Let's say 1:37. Okay, let's check it. Oh, look at that. There he is. He's here. I have a plan. I would like feedback on it. The below listed ops represent the last of the R7, R8 operations we have in ROTE. After that, it would only be R9, but we're a bit away from it at the moment. My guild set an expectation for the new rate of 3 million minimum 6 months after its release. After that, we know it hasn't been announced yet, but other grinds may be bumped accordingly. I personally would like to hit 5 million for it. All right, so I want to look at that real quick. What do you mean spending capacity, user? Where is your account? There it is. Let's just check out your error real quick. Error. All error units. Okay, so doing the 5-star route. We obviously don't know how the eras are going to work right now and with raids, but I strongly believe that if eras and if raids work the same way that they have in the past, that the way the eras work is actually going to be very beneficial to free-to-play players and players in lower-end guilds, because of the fact that you're getting those characters to about G12 anyway at 3 stars, and it's very free-to-play accessible to get them to 5 stars. So I think a lot of people are going to see that they're able to get like 600,000 points per team right off of the bat. And that's 600,000 times 5, 6 times 5, that's 3 million. So I think your guild is actually going to be underselling your raid scores per person, unless you just have really lazy people. I think that there is a lot. I think that there is a lot that players are going to be able to do there. And, you know, if you with your 5-star characters, I think you're going to get that right away. 5 million, you're going to probably get like 5 million within 3 months, especially with the way the era battles work. Roster reviews says, yeah, I mean, I get a pretty good idea of whether people are whales or not, just based off of their accounts, and whether or not they are spending money for a nice orange name on Discord. I would like to work up more ROTE teams for combat missions. Right now, just to R7 because of the above, but with plans to R9 some after Hondo. Guild hasn't a minimum raid score before us. Okay, I mean, that's fair, is to start low and then build from there. That is very, very fair. I would recommend having a guild raid officer. We do have one, Uncle Rummy. We lovingly call him Unk. And he helps us to kind of set that communication standard with the guild consistently. Consistently reaching 1 without issue. Only limitation is time in the mornings sometimes. Morning, M3. Assault battles, I'm assuming, okay, CT2, Pretty Patrol, so probably R7, CT3, all else. Progression since May, so this is May of last year, I think, right? Jin and I, Calcestis, Duel of the Fates, Pretty Patrol, a lot. C, Bane, Malgus, Leviathan, Queen Amidala, Great Mothers, GL, Tarkin, Gas, GL, Ahsoka, Ezra. Current active projects, BKM. Future plans in order. Presently, I'm building arrow magnifiers and impulse detectors for the R9 Pretty Patrol. Good man. In the meantime, I'm working up BKM as a guild project. Star Killer, Jar Jar, Balin Skull, ROTE, Zepho Ops, R7, Jedi Knight Guardian, Kia D Mundi, Kira, R9 Peridia Patrol, Lothal R8 Ops, Jedi Consular. Do you already have an R7 Jedi Consular? No. If you're bringing Jedi Consular to R8, I think he's also a Zepho platoon at R7. So make sure that the people bringing him to R7 are probably the people bringing him to R8, unless you need extras because of when you're putting platoons in for Zepho. ROTE, Mandalore Ops, R8, Tuscan Chieftain, Tuscan Warrior, Tarful, Admiral Trench, Lord Vader, GL Hondo. All right. Let's see. Assume money spent only on episode pass. Crystals used with it to get era characters to 5 stars. I do 3x refresh from mod today and try to maintain 3x energy signal data. Currently saving era shipment currency for Hondo Pirates. I expect Erodium tokens will be usable on them in 7 months. Hopefully. But we have not seen them upgrade them with characters in this era yet. So we're hoping that that's the case. But we do need to wait on, you know, whether they upgrade those characters. Okay, good. Just making sure with the Consular. Proving Grounds unlocked. Activated Maul, Trench, Moff Gideon, Luthen Rail. 4 months, Darkside Ray. 8 months, Jocasta New, Stranger, Maz, SM33. Progress since May. Let's just take a look at the account now, shall we? Mostly R7GL. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 out of the 10 of them. So we are missing Lord Vader. We are missing Hondo. And we are missing... who else is he on here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we have 8. We have Rey. Okay. So we're missing Hondo and LV only. Let's see. Going down the bottom. At least he has a ship, yeah, but the ship, you're almost never going to use that ship, to be completely honest. Okay, Star Killer. You have Star Killer, you're just in the middle of gearing him. So we're finishing that up. Jar Jar, where are we at on Jar Jar? I've said this before, I'll say it again. I love Jar Jar. He's not, I don't really think that he's a priority character, personally, for most people. Seems like you're right there. You probably use the tokens from last episode to get most of these guys up, and then maybe use the Erodium tokens there. You have Leviathan, Funded the Executor, BKM. We're just waiting on some stuff there. Yeah, man, that's a whole thing. Okay, so BKM is building up. I'm going to tell you, look, I know you're in a more casual guild than I am because you should be in a better guild, right? So I understand you're in a more casual guild, but you need to build your guild around people who are like-minded, and you need to get rid of people who are not willing to volunteer ever. It's one thing to feel like you have to do your own projects. It's another thing to never want to volunteer. And also in TB, we have two TB officers. We have myself and Q. And Q is the guy that normally does platoon stuff. And he will reach out to people, and he will just, and he's found, like, we have great volunteers for TB platoons. But we have found that even the people that don't volunteer often or at all, if we reach out to them in DM and say, hey, we're really working on this thing, we need everybody to pick one character, here's the list. A lot of those people will end up saying, yeah, that's fair. I will do that. That's okay. So I would recommend actually and personally reaching out to every one of your members who does not volunteer and not demanding it, not saying you have to do it, but just saying, listen, we are a guild. We work together. Our goal is to work together. I really need everyone to do one character. Because here's what's happening in my guild right now. Last event, we got a little fucked. And one of my guild members actually saved us because the bot did not platoon somebody's Bad Batch Echo, which left that slot open. And I couldn't platoon my Bad Batch Echo at Relic 9 because I was already 10 for 10 on that planet of hard shit, of like the bad shit. When you only have 2 or 3 people going heavy on volunteering, you are going to find that you are getting locked out of things because you never really want to be at 10 of 10. You really need to spread that out over a bigger group. And you need to be honest with your guild, even if you're a more casual style guild or a lower guild, and that's fine, to say we need everybody stepping up to do things. Otherwise, they are dead weight, right? That is a huge, huge, huge problem in this community. And because my guild is so great at volunteering, my TB officer and I, we just did a contest for Relic 9s. We both put $100 on the line, and we spun a wheel, and we said, listen, you get 1 point for this. You get 3 points for this. You have a month to do it. Here's the volunteer list. We just gave out $200 in prizes as like a fun, just thank you for how great our guild is at volunteering. But dedicate an officer to reaching out to people. I think you will be surprised by how many people are willing to donate and volunteer who are just not willing to actively be the person to say, okay, I'll do that. And I think that that will help you with not having to take on so many volunteers and being able to do more of your own projects. Just food for thought. Skull. I want to check out Balin. Where's Balin? Balin is close. So all of these guys are super close, man. Let's see, Vader. Vader is close. I want to check out your clones in a second. And then Hondo, you are hopefully going to be using tokens on. But once again, they have not updated the tokens between the two eras. And we've had characters go into accelerated. So just be careful with that. You know, like, you have none of these characters farmed, and you might end up getting fucked if we get to acceleration and they don't decide to bring them to those tokens, which would really suck. Just be mindful. Have the one clone, okay? I would definitely, I mean, if Lord Vader is in your plan right here in your future plans, Starkiller is almost done. Jar Jar is almost done. Balin is almost done. Zepho Ops, that's not going to be that very long. Peridia Patrol is always a good choice. ROTE, Lothal, R8 operations, Jedi Consular are fine. Mandalore operations, fine. I would at least be slow farming your clones right now because you don't have these clones. And again, we don't know if these guys are going to be token farmable. And if they do end up becoming token farmable, great. Then you know that for the Hondo stuff and you can decide to gear or not to gear. But Lord Vader is not super useful right now in this game without his clones. And you're not that far off from having Lord Vader. Beyond that, you know, you have your era stuff at 5 stars. So that's going to give you a jump on the raid stuff. I would say I don't hate your plan. I don't hate your plan at all. I think your plan is fine. I think where you're going with your account is fine. But I want you to do me a favor this next TB. During your next TB, especially if you want to talk about TB teams, because I told this to User. User asked me about this, and I said, you have to do this next week. La Ding Dong asked me about this. I said, you have to do this next week. Another guildmate, Kai, asked me about this. I told him, you have to do this next week. Next week, when you do TB, keep track of days 3 through 6 and what combats you're not doing. Then come back to me. Because today, I think your plan is fine. My only advice is develop an officer plan to reach out to people and just say, hey, blah, 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 we're reaching out to these people. Come up with, I don't know, whatever platoons you need. Let's say 40 platoons. Split that list between 3 or 4 officers. Don't give this 2 officers the same list because then people are going to do doubles. But split that list and say, you take these 12, you take these 12, you take these 12s, and then reach out to each player and try to get them to commit to one character. I think 75% of the time, your players will say, okay, I'll take on one character, and let them pick that character. That is the only thing that I would do with your list, because you might be able to take 2 or 3 characters off of your ops load, and that's a good thing for your guild. You don't want people to have too big of an ops load. We just had an officer leave our guild. He was in the guild for a very short time. Stratos, he's a friend of mine, but I'm still going to say fuck you, Stratos, even though you're a friend. When he came in so hot. He's like, I'm doing this platoon, that platoon, this platoon, that platoon. He did like 9 platoons for us. And then he left to go join another guild with a friend in a guild that was like his bucket list guild. And now we were fucked because we had to take on so many platoons in a very short time. The more spread out your platoons are, the better. And I know you're thinking, oh, I'll never leave my guild. But like maybe one day your internet is down. Maybe one day you can't get into game or it's bugged. We've had the game be bugged for people before. Maybe one day you're really busy and you just completely forget to get into game. It is so much better to be spaced out. That is the only thing that I think you should do with this plan. But going back to TB, get me a list, a day-by-day list from day 3 to day 6. And say, hey, then come back next week and say, TB, day 3. These are the missions I'm not doing. Day 4, these are the missions I'm not doing. Day 5, these are the missions I'm not doing. And we will develop a plan for you around that. But realistically, when we look at your plan right now, Jar Jar, that is a team. Jar Jar team to R7, that is a team. Star Killer, not super great for TB. Balin Skull with Marak Omicron, that is a TB team for day 1 and 2. Day 3, you're going to start getting your Inquisitors, right? We'll see where your Inquisitors are. Okay, so you've got your Inquisitors at 7 stars, and depending on your ops, you do the third sister one, but Marak in there, you're going to do better with that team. That is a speed up to a team you already have. Lord Vader, that is a team. BKM, that is a team. These are things that are already implemented in what you're doing. But come back to me next week with the exacts. Don't write out a whole thing. I don't need a whole thing. Just write out, hey, I want to do this. And here's what I'm doing on each day. And I will say, all right, now we're going to look at each of those combats in the easiest possible way to hit each of those CMs. That is the best way for us to do that. Any other questions? And again, man, talk to your guild. A lot of people just need to be approached like head on instead of approached as a group setting, and they will be so willing. And annoyingly, I found that some people just turn off their Discord notifications, which is really a pain in the ass when you're trying to do TB stuff. So they don't even see your notifications. Why did I ask you that question, user? Because last week you had said to me, what would it take to be able to complete every single mission? I know exactly what CMs you can and cannot do. I know for the most part which ones you can and cannot do. But I don't know exacts because your guild keeps changing your goddamn platoons on you. So we need to look at the exacts and go, all right, now we're going to build a plan out of that. Right? It's just the easiest way to do it, to say this is, and for you, it's easy because there's so few that you're not doing right now where you just say, all right, I can't do this one on this day. And we go, all right, great. We're going to bring these 4 characters up and we're going to do it. You know, like your Phoenix to R8. Bring your Phoenix to R8. You're going to do that Lothal CM. But that's really where it comes down to. Yeah. Get me that list next week and we will go over this combat by combat. But again, a lot of your plan is going to help you with those things. Jar Jar will help you. Balin Skull will help you. Because Balin Skull also gives you Great Mothers. It gives you Great Mothers and Morgan, which is another good TB team. Peridia Patrol, well, you already have them at R7, I believe, right? So they're doing their R7 platoons. And it'll also let me know your day-to-day plan. Okay, so going from there, we have VaderHicks. We're going to go on there. Get me that plan, and we will discuss that in length. We're at 158.00. VaderHicks. Let's see what he's got for me. VaderHicks. Regular review. Top 20, mostly Leviathan, good blend of Executor and a few Profundity mixed in. Getting number 2 daily. I do the same. I barely get number 1 because I just don't want to do the extra combat. Everything looks CT3 except Military Might and Ground War. That's interesting. Military Might is one of the few that people do very quickly. Fanatical Devotion. So Fanatical Devotion, Ground War, Military Might. What are you currently working on? Jabba, finishing up Relics on Jedi Knight Luke, C-3PO, Han, and Fennec then will be unlocked. Are you dead set? Yes, too close to turn back now. Efficiency usually equals fun when it pays off. Any favorite characters? No. Shards for important Proving Grounds characters. Will unlock Satele as my first Proving Grounds character at the end of her secondary cycle in 3 months. Well, she's technically not a Proving Ground character, but yes, I understand what you're saying. And then we'll unlock every PG character over the next 9 months after that. Have 5 LSTs from the Andor era and have another Erodium token ready to spend. Can use those to basically accelerate Profundity. Best time to get a capital ship is when you don't need it. I love when people quote my own advice back at me. Star Killer Leia, all of Balin requirements are relics, same with GI, and we'll have all of BKM requirements at relics with Mando tokens. Yes, that is the one that you do with CLS. And to top it off, I background farmed D-Revan and just unlocked him, and I've been hoarding Get One for Malik, just not sure what order makes the most sense. Also considering Pico because I have neglected mods on my account and they aren't in a good place. All right. One thing I really hate doing is telling people exactly where to use their Lightspeed tokens because I have no fucking idea. I will tell you, and I say this, I feel like I've been saying this every single stream. I almost want to make a video of this and then play it during streams. There is a priority on where you should use Lightspeed tokens. You should always use it on an upcoming farm. But use them, look to use them on Cantina farms first. If using an Erodium token will get you through a Cantina farm, it is worth it to not block out signal data. So look for those farms first, even if, you know, Profundity has a Cantina farm, and then whoever you're doing next, I'm just going to say Leia, right? Leia has a Cantina farm, but she's next. Use one towards Profundity, use one towards Leia. Cantina farm's most important thing for Lightspeed tokens. The next thing that you're going to use them on is on characters who are new style characters, so Kyrotech characters. You know, you'd prefer not to use one on Pow because he's an old style character that doesn't need a lot of Kyrotech, versus a new style character like Radis, who has a higher Kyrotech, has a higher Kyrotech requirement. And you can tell new versus old because old characters only require 100 Kyrotech for the finisher. That's it. They don't require any other Kyrotech. That is your secondary use for those tokens. You had the opposite attitude getting hard modes first. Listen, everybody has their own thing, but for me, I would rather farm a hard node because that energy is less useful to me. Signal data is useful for everybody. Everybody needs signal data all the time. There's never a time that you don't need signal data. You never want to turn off or block yourself out from signal data. Okay, so another thing, Con Warlock says characters that are hard to obtain. So that's not a bad idea too for like things like Wampa or Hermit Yoda. If they're even eligible, I don't think that they're eligible for those tokens, but they might be. I would use them on them too, just because you don't have to use Get One, but I don't think that they are usable. I'm not 100% sure on that one. The other thing with somebody like Wampa is if you start that early, you can get him from the bounty events as well. Look, not spending in Coliseum and getting the top 50 is awesome. Not every shard is that way. My shard is a little bit more cutthroat. I know some shards where people are in the top 10 and their characters are much less than mine. Odo is eligible with the Jedi LST, not the regular Coliseum LSTs. That makes sense. Grievous is different from Wampa, I think, but because Grievous is just a farm character, even though it's with fleet currency. But either way, that is how you should use your Lightspeed tokens. What you should possibly be farming, first of all, based on where you are in the game, I'm going to say you're probably around 7 million. No, I'm going to say around 6 million. I should have stuck with 7 million. Look at that, 7.6 million. At least it's not 6.7 million, right? Let's see. Sith. We have 1 GL. Wampa is eligible for Coliseum tokens. I don't even know if it's relevant in this case. It's not even relevant. He's got him at 7 stars anyway, right? So not even relevant. and has Hermit Yoda too, so also not even relevant. Gear tracker. Let's see. Hondo's not that far away, surprisingly. Wow. Okay. Jedi Knight Luke is your most immediate farm, if I remember correctly, because you're going for Jabba. Jabba's very close. So you are going to finish Jabba. Starkiller's not bad. I wonder. Balin's Skull is not bad. You've kind of background farmed that. Clones. I would maybe not worry too much about Lord Vader right now because your clones are not in a great place. All of Balin's requirements are relics. Starkiller Leia can use those. Basically, accelerate Starkiller Leia, etc. Okay. I think if I were to do anything right now with your account, well, first I want to check. I want to check on military might because it's kind of strange to me that your military might is not there yet. So CLS is at G12. CLS, Han, Chewie, C3PO, and Chewpio. Okay. You probably, I don't know what the minimum Zeta requirement is here. Do you have Mon Mothma? No, no Mon Mothma. I don't know the minimum Zeta requirement it is, but I know that CLS team at CT3 can do it relatively early. You've done it at CT2, so really the exact strategy there would be to use the bonus ability on everybody in round 1 and then slowly work your way through because that bonus ability works throughout the entire fight. I don't think it's a priority though. You know, you do have to get CLS to R3, so he will be relicked. You have C3PO's Zetas. You have Chewbacca's Zetas. You have the Chewpio Zeta. You have Han Solo Zeta. So it's really only about bringing CLS's Zetas, and I would do that just because it's a usable team. You are going to want to mod them to be very fast. Right? That's your goal, is mod these guys to be fast. You should be able to do military might, no problem. Ground War, I think you're also only doing at CT2. Let's check on those Jedi. CLS has this the LST, so great. You're gonna use the CLS Zeta LST on that. So that's completely fine too. That'll be quick, cheap, easy. Thank you, Paulito. Jedi Knight Luke. If you do Jedi, I mean, I would really like to do this with JML, but you did Jedi Knight Luke, Jedi Knight Revan, Hermit Yoda, General Kenobi, and probably Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, and you mod Jedi Knight Luke with 0 speed at all, just for this, just for his leadership, and then you get Hermit Yoda as fast as you possibly can get him, you can get through Ground War pretty easily by using whoever goes first, use the call to get Jedi Knight Luke's turn, stun, working your way through each mission and just making sure that you finish each battle with the mass attack so that Jedi Knight Luke starts each battle. It makes Ground War very, very, very easy. I think that team will do completely fine with it. If I had your account, I would probably finish Jabba. I would definitely go for profundity. Like you said, you know, the best time to do a fleet farm is when you don't need it. And I would do Hondo. I wouldn't worry about anything else right now. Right. GI, you should have everything from the Lightspeed tokens that came out. So let's see where they are in terms of relics. They're still relatively low relict. I would do finish Jabba. You need the modding. Do Profundity as like a secondary farm. Keep it as your secondary. Everything extra goes towards Profundity. Do Jabba. Go hard on Hondo to build up those mods even stronger. After Hondo, if Profundity is not finished at that point, then make Profundity your primary farm there. After that is when I would scoop up and do GI, finishing GI, and then go for Leia. That's how I would do this. I wouldn't spread myself too thin. I see you're all over the place with your Balin requirements are done, Star Killer is done, D-Revan is done. But people in that position find that their mods are fucking terrible. Like, god-awful. And that is a huge problem for them. And then they get into a Zeta crunch, and then they go on Reddit, and then they post about their Zeta crunch, and they say, we need more Zetas. And it's not really that they need more Zetas. It's that they are expanding their roster too fast. And that is what CG wants them to do. They want them expanding their roster faster so that they feel that crunch, so that they buy more Zetas, right? That is the whole purpose of that. So if anything else, that is where I would take the roster. Profundity stays a secondary. Finish Jabba, go right into Hondo, man. After that, finish Profundity, then scoop up your Inquisitors to Relic 7 and go for Leia. And you will be in a much, much, much better position with your account. All right, I got one more in me for today. As we all know, Vanced is banned from our Discord. Somehow. Huh. Doesn't CLS need to be... Huh. Let's see. I thought CLS had to be R3 too. Journey guide. No, where is the actual journey guide? Where is Jedi Knight Luke? There he is. Yeah. It might be a glitch. Commander Luke Skywalker. That's very strange because that shouldn't even be possible. That like you can't even cheat that because you shouldn't be able to join the battle. Without him at Relic 3. I don't have an answer to that. Let's see. We can actually look in game. So it is. It's glitched out. Jedi Knight Luke, Commander Luke is Relic 3. Why it's not showing that, I don't know. All right, get out of game. Anyway, as we all know, Vanced is... Actually, I'm going to put this as part of the tag. As we all know, Vanced is is banned from Discord right now. And he deleted his account because somebody sold all of his mods, and he came at everybody yelling at all of us for deleting his mods, even though none of us would do that. And then he deleted his account because if somebody deleted his mods, then I don't pretend to understand Vanced. He started a new account for some reason, though I thought that that would have been a really great time for him to quit the game and just walk away from this game. And I think Storm is semi-friends with Vanced, and for some reason Vanced convinced Storm to put in a roster review for him. So we're going to check up on Vance's new account, I guess. Just I don't know. Let's see what it looks like. Pretty much all home one. Few endurance for some reason, and people have negotiator, but it's trash, so no one uses it. Okay, and that sounds like something Vance would say. Coordinating, no. Assault battles, no challenge tiers. I have all executive requirements done. Razor Crest is holding me up. I have like 150 shards of it and profundity. Are you dead set on continuing? I would like to finish profundity. So this is like you're doing two different GL fleets right now without a single assault battle at a challenge tier, which is insane. Like, yeah, having one is great, but it just seems like pick fucking one or the other and go from there. How I do value efficiency. Are there any favorite characters? No. It's a lie. Lord Vader is your favorite character. Shards for any important proving grounds characters, none close to unlock. They're all at about 40. My plan was to farm all GL ships first, but due to my fleet shard has profundity and he can't get rank 1 against home ones, so that will do nothing for me in fleet and Leviathans. I didn't buy the Malgus FCI bundle, so that will take about a year, just those. I have executor requirements complete other than RC, which I'm hoping the LSB will be out for soon. I have Jedi Cal, so I'm gearing him, but other than ships, I don't really think about anything else. I'm thinking Jabba for my first GL, even though I bought the SLKR bundle because I can't beat the finalizer event. Oh my god. Is looking through this going to be worth the blood pressure? I don't know. I just hope that somebody takes pity on me and they're like, you know what? I'm going to sign into Twitch on web instead of on the app, and I am going to send Egnards those Bezos bucks and because I feel pity on him, and that's what we're going to just hope happens. I have Jedi Cal. I would rather not farm Poncho Bros right now. I'll use the Kyber tokens from the next era on them. All I really care about is GAC, which is why I'm focusing on fleets so much. I just want to get to Kyber ASAP. Motherfucker. Oh, God. Oh, God. Holy shit. I don't know. He's like 5 million, I think, right? I think he's like 5 million. 5 million exactly. He's in guild 404 not found, which is funny to me, at least. I don't even know what is this guild that has allowed him in? Are there any representatives from 404 not found here? Like what? Oh, they're like super casual. That's why. That's why they let him in. Okay, I understand now. Never mind. There we go, Storm, with the Bezos bucks. That's self-care. Like, what? What is this fucking account, man? Vance. Oh my god. Oh my god. I want to just show you something, Vance. We're going to go to Insight and we're going to go to Fleet Battles. And we are going to put the leader as home one. Okay. And we are going to show you that profundity against home one has a 99.79% chance to beat home one. A 99.79% chance to beat home one. The player in your shard who cannot beat home one is just not good. Let's see if we say no Rogue One, because Rogue One is probably doing some heavy lifting there. So without, I don't even know if it'll show up without Rogue One. Let's see. Profundity, no Rogue One. No, I want profundity. Don't exclude profundity. No, damn it. Come on. Where is profundity? Profundity without fucking home one has a 99.37% chance to beat home one with no goddamn reinforcements. With 0 reinforcements. I know it's 9 in the morning. God damn. God damn. Oh, shit. It's just a fucking account. Vance, the first thing that an account needs to do is build out assault battle prominence. Your account is going to grow so fucking slowly without the assault battles. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, let's see this. Oh my god. What? This is all right. Let's gear tracker. Where are we on executor? Okay, so you just need Razor Crest. You have profundity. Oh my god. Executor. I don't know what your Razor Crest shards are at. Can I check that in game? I know I can't check it here. I think the game started showing that. Like, I mean, he's getting fleet shards at least. Does it show shards? No, it doesn't. It doesn't show shards. Okay, man, I love the idea of getting fleets, but you have other things to do first because your account is going to grow so fucking slowly where it's at. You don't need profundity right this second, but you're kind of close to it. So I almost want to tell you not to stop just because you're close. And the final, why can't you beat the finalizer thing? God, I don't. Like, it should be so easy. You just give up on things so easily, man. Fuck. God damn it, man. Fucking damn it. Okay. Van, you've seen enough of my streams to know. You Soul, this is why I try to be I try to be kind. He knows I, I don't want to tell him that I unblocked him because now he's gonna spam my oh fuck I did. My DMs, but I try to be nice, but I also have to protect my community. Fuck. You have Ray is so close, but Ray doesn't get you very much. I hate Sin. I love Sin. I really do. And Flower. Oh man, I love Flower. Okay, so you're gonna finish Executor because Executor is gonna help you, and you're gonna finish Profundity just because you're already there. You're so close to it that you just might as well finish profundity. While you're doing those two things, please, every single time the bounty event comes around, make sure that you are getting Rolo shards from that bounty event. Because you need Jedi Knight Luke. You are 100% going for Jabba as your first GL. Because Jedi Knight Luke will at least get you to CT1 in Ground War. Jabba will get you to CT3 in Rebel Roundup. Having Jedi Knight Luke, you'll have most of the CLS team from working around those things to at least be able to get to CT1 in military might. You need to start picking up assault battles. You should have Inquisitors. All of these guys, how are they? Fucking put semi-okay mods on these guys, and you will have CT1 of Fanatical Devotion. That's it. That's an assault battle right there. You need to start getting the free Kyrotex, the free Zetas. You need those things. Don't even fucking worry about Leviathan right now. You don't need Leviathan right now. You are not getting to Kyber on only having fleets. Not right now. It's not going to happen right now. His mods, I'm sure his mods suck because his mod score on his other account was like a 2. And that's only because I got him to a 2 from a 0.91. It's a new account. The account is only like 3 months old. So I don't expect it to be a good account. But he's just going about it wrong. You don't need Leviathan. You need to start working on these assault battles. You're not going to get to Kyber in a year, right? User got to Kyber in a year for a couple of reasons. 1, User listens to my advice. 2, User pays me a buttload of money to basically be on call to help him with roster planning, right? To help him with doing things. And then he listens to it. He fucking listens to it. Number 3, he's actually, like, he's intelligent when it comes to the game, even though he doesn't think that he is. He's lazy. He'll tell you that himself. He's lazy. But he knows about efficiency. Right? Well, but your 1 year anniversary was like a week ago, and you are at 167 in GAC right now. Right? And like 160, you're like in the top 200 GAC accounts in a year. But a lot of money was spent there. You're not doing this on a Vanced salary. It's not happening. You need to build out the assault battles. You need to build out your free resources. You have to utilize all of the free stuff this game is giving you. Fuck. Goddamn. Fuck. All right. That's the last review I'm doing for the day because now I'm stressed. And that's more than I plan to do anyway. We are going to do egg draws. We haven't done egg draws in a while. Yeah, at 9:30 in the morning, man. This is why we need the Bezos bucks, the free Bezos bucks for all of you that are Amazon Prime subscribers. This is a pretty limited whiskey, by the way, too. It's Johnny Walker's Explorer Club collection, the Spice Road. I think you can only get it at airports in the duty free. I got it like 10 years ago. I just opened it recently. Captain Junior, what you can do is you can go to our Discord. I have a line. I follow a very strict line when it comes to my roster reviews. And if you want a roster review, you go to Discord, You input it, and I do them in order. I tag you in them. I put timestamps on them. I put timestamps on them so that if you're not here, you can go back and watch just the timestamp of your review. Spiced alcohol is yuck. I love all. It's not single malt. Johnny Walker is always blended Scotch, or almost always blended Scotch. I am a single malt bitch. I do love myself a single malt whiskey. I do love myself a Scotch. I do love a Japanese whiskey. I am not a basic bitch when it comes to whiskey. So before we get into egg draws, there was a time in my life. Thank you for the Bezos bucks. There was a time in my life where I moved out of my house. I moved in with a friend. I actually saw that friend last night. I moved in with a friend, and my first concern as a mid-20s is I said to myself, hey, what if I lose my job? I can't drink anymore. That was my concern as like an early mid-20s person. Fucking dumb. So what I did is every week I would buy a bottle of alcohol. I wouldn't drink it. I would just put it in my closet. By the time I moved out of that house, I had like 70 bottles of alcohol. So downstairs in my basement, I have a collection of alcohol. And I didn't always buy stuff that I liked, because I like other people being able to drink the things that they want. So like, I'm not a vodka drinker, but I would buy bottles of vodka. At the time I wasn't a whiskey drinker. I was a rum drinker. So I'd buy bottles of whiskey. Now I am a whiskey drinker. I would buy all assortments of shit. So in my basement, I have so many bottles of alcohol, and I'm just trying to get through them. Right? Like I'm literally just trying to get through these bottles and making mixed drinks with them to bring myself down to a level where it's like, because what was happening is I was buying whiskeys, and I was like, oh, I'm out of whiskey. I had to buy whiskeys, but I had 5 bottles of whiskeys of whiskey in my basement. So I've been trying to use up that stock, but not the really weird shit. Like, I have pink lemonade vodka downstairs that I'm probably never going to drink because my sister brought it over once. Anyway, the point is, I am a very upscale whiskey drinker. And I'm an upscale whiskey drinker, but I've been just trying to get through my other stuff as well. Yeah, pink lemonade vodka. My sister brought it for a party I was having. It wasn't bad, but it's not something that I would normally drink ever. I'll send you guys after the stream. Hibiki. Have I tried Hibiki? Hibiki sounds familiar. I will be expecting a single malt if I get you to 100 user. I've had Hibiki before. Hibiki's good. It's produced by Suntory. I love Suntory whiskey. Suntory Toki is my favorite drinkable whiskey. I keep it in a decanter at all times. The Suntory Toki, like $40 a bottle. It's very cheap, but it's a very, very good bottle for its price. I will take a picture of my bar downstairs, and I'll put it on Discord. It doesn't look nice right now because my basement is a mess from all of the construction we've had to do and everything. So it's just thrown together, but all of the bottles I have are on there, and you'll kind of see how much alcohol I still have. But my preference, honestly, is honestly Japanese whiskeys over Scotland. And I know, like, scotches and everything, fine. I like a nice smooth scotch. I don't like a peaty, like, woody scotch. I don't like Lagavulin. Lagavulin tastes like a cabinet to me. I like something smooth and light. I used to be part of the Flaviar or Flavor, whatever you call it, Whiskey of a Month Club. And I would do the pairings and the tastings. You spent so much on Johnny Walker. You know what's funny? I actually I had Johnny Walker Blue at my dad's funeral. SLA. I'm not a Johnny Walker fan. Obviously, I'm drinking that right now. That's what I have. Um, but my dad worked in grocery his whole career. He was like a grocery manager. Um, and all of his clients, like all of the rich people where he worked, they would gift him bottles. And like the vendors, they would gift him bottles of whiskey for Christmas. So he had like gold label, blue label bottles in his basement. And when he died, and you know, I was fine with he had brain cancer. It was like a 3-year battle. I was expecting it. He was going through at that point through aphasia, which was kind of funny sometimes if you've ever had to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like it's terrible, it's awful, but also you're like going to a diner trying to order a hamburger and it's an SNL sketch because he's trying to tell you that he wants a cheeseburger, but he's saying pool tables and ketchup. Um, but at his funeral, I took one of those bottles of Blue Label whiskey and I went outside with a group of like 12 people and we just shared a bottle of his Blue Label whiskey because it was his and I that is how I connect to people is not through drinking and getting drunk, but like through having and sharing a good drink. So maybe that's it. Maybe I'm Irish and I don't know it. When my mom died, she was an absolute vodka person, absolute raspberry vodka cosmopolitan. She died. I took the last bottle that she had bought and I made raspberry cosmopolitans. Um, and I don't like cosmopolitans, but it was her favorite drink. And so every year on her birthday, I would buy a bottle of uh, cranberry raspberry juice that she liked, and I would make myself raspberry Stole cosmopolitans. Um, so it was, you know, it's kind of cool in that way. Anyway, we are going to do egg draws. I know we got into some deeper stuff there, which is I like talking. I like chatting with people. If anyone wants to see a really great chat, if you didn't check out Shock Talk, Shaka's little podcast, I had a great talk with him last week that had nothing to do with Star Wars, and it was really cool to check that out. But we're gonna get into egg draws. I kind of like the Rabid Beaver Egnards thing. I'm kind of digging that vibe because of the whole fanfic that he's supposed to be making. So we're gonna do that, but we obviously have to play the song first. That is an important part of this. So we'll be right back.
He sought inspiration from mankind's truest arts. Armed with trusty MS Paint, combined the greatest parts. He traveled all the world, went to Japan, France, and Spain. So when the light hits up his screen, we're asking once again, is it a masterpiece that's coming? Is it truly art refined? Or is it just the digital equivalent of shit we find? Oh, Egnards draws, Egnards draws. He'll work tirelessly and diligent throughout all of the day. Oh, Egnards draws, Egnards draws. Egnards draws, Egnards draws. Is that Vader on the screen or just a melted tray? Egnards draws.
All right, let's see. Yeah, it was a really cool talk. If you, I enjoyed it. If you haven't watched his podcast yet, it's more structured. It's not really about Star Wars. He has been talking to a lot of Star Wars content creators though, because those are the people that he knows. I enjoyed it a lot. Thinking we have to draw like a river, right? Oop. Oh, it's down here. I can see it. I see where it didn't finish. Oh, I guess it's another part 2. Not up there. Down here. Okay. So we have our river. We're going to give it maybe some darker tones in there to show that it's moving. Um, okay, so we need egg. We need egg in here. We're going to go with a lighter or skin tony one. And I wish there was like an egg shape. There isn't. Looks like a fucking pear. No, I don't like that. That looks like a fucking testicle. Gotta get my eyes. Now you can't fully see it right now. Get my eyes. For some reason, I have blue eyes. Really should have asked the guy who did this for me to change that since I don't have blue eyes. But, you know, that's just life. There's the brush I want. Go in here. Glasses for some reason because I was like, I want to look like a nerd even though I don't actually wear glasses. No, not the airbrusher. I think the calligraphy pencil maybe. It was not Moon who did it. Actually, it wasn't. I when I did the Tales Off a Holotable with Sarah, people enjoyed it, and I was kind of like, you know what? Let me hire a designer. So I paid a pretty decent amount for the egg logo. There, we have our disapproving mouth. It's like a reddish brown. Back to the black. myself little feet. I haven't really decided if Egnards has feet, but we're going to give him little feet. Do it on this side now. Give him little white people hands. Oh God, those are awful. I need to outline it. He's got like darker robes. He's not Greek. So we're going to go darker here. So there's egg. What the fuck is being drawn? It's an egg and a beaver fanfic. Let's see. I need a picture of a beaver, right? Because I don't think Rabid Beaver has like a real. Let's see. Beaver. He just has an RB. He doesn't have like a beaver that's his beaver. He doesn't have a beaver that's his beaver. So we gotta find a beaver for him. Oh, I need the lightsabers, the hilts. There we go. So we got egg. Need a cartoon beaver with safe search on. Cartoon beaver. Oh, this is a nice simple one. I could do this. And then we can so you want to draw his little head first. He's got a little ear here. And then he's got it. He looks like a fucking fetus. No, I don't like that. Maybe we draw the okay, so that is where his tail is. Beaver hand. So he looks something like that. And then we go here. Use the, oh no. Lighter brown here. Go with the darker brown here. Gotta draw the tail. Which is an even darker brown. I think it looks like a... No, I know. I can't move it very easily. I can't move the screen super easy. So sometimes I zoom in and out and it doesn't screen share correctly. Maybe if I, you know what, before I do this, let's change something here. Oh God, I just moved everything. Okay, let's just move egg draws. No, everything else, lock, 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 lock. Egg draws only. Let's fix this for the future, shall we? There we go. So now you should see whatever I'm zooming in on. Perfect. Let's do the black eye is here. And then make the nose here. Now, I'm realizing as I make this that it's a rabid beaver. So we're going to... Where is the airbrush? We're going to add some red. We're going to maybe change the color of this eye. Make it more evil. I don't like this. I don't like the ear. It's too big. Give him some claws. Some evil beaver claws. Lots of red. those. Maybe we'll make some trees real quick. Ooh, more of a brown, right? Airbrush. We'll get bigger airbrush. Darker. Don't forget the little bush. Hold on. We will draw. We'll make this a little bit bigger. And to finish it off, we will do like a we'll do a little sunflower. There we go. It's me and Rabid Beaver. I will send that to him. We're gonna finish up. I don't see anybody on playing Swugger right now. Oh wait, no, I do. I don't really know this guy. I know him a little bit, but not super well. So we will raid out on Twitch over here, as always. And just a reminder, next Sunday I have stuff. So there will unfortunately be no brunch. There will be a few days like that coming up in the next couple of months as well. If you're on YouTube right now and you're not subscribed, rectify that. Don't make me sad. And have a great week and Hell Week and Conquest Week and all the fun stuff that we all hate to do.